September 29th starts the 38th annual tour of historic places sponsored by Preservation Racine Incorporated. And with me today is Robin Coventry, who is the president of that organization. Robin, welcome to the show.
Thank you, George.
And tell us a little bit about the upcoming event. I mean, it's right before us now.
We have an exciting tour this year. This also celebrates our 40th anniversary of Preservation Racine. The tour this year has buildings and significant, architecturally significant homes on the tour this year. And you can purchase your tickets in advance for $12 at the following locations: Borzinski's, Larson's, Miller's Flowers, Personal Touch Flower Shop, also the Milligers, both locations, and O&H. And I do believe that First Weber.
I just want to throw in my 2 cents worth here. I grew up in Oak Park, Illinois, which is, I grew up surrounded by Frank Llyoyd Wright buildings.
Ah.
And I never thought much of them as a kid. I mean, I was just riding my bike around them all the time, and it wasn't until I actually moved away from Oak Park and came back and saw one of the tours that I really got genned in on what was going on in the community I grew up in. And I'm up here in Racine, and there's one right on the route that I normally take on Main Street. There's a Frank Llyoyd Wright building,
well,
which is undergoing some very interesting.
That happens to be on the tour this year.
Yeah.
That is the Thomas P. Hardy House, and it has been recently, to date, restored beautifully. Still in progress, I might add. So September 29th, we welcome all of our Frank Llyoyd Wright enthusiasts, and
I might have to get in that line for that one.
Anyone interested in historic, significant, architecturally significant homes, please do come for the tour. All of the homes are very special.
Cool. That's true. It's true. I'm just naturally drawn to that particular type, and I could spot it. At any rate, on to greater things here, Robin. You know, Preservation Racine has been around for a long time.
Since 1973.
1973. Mm-hmm. Almost as long as the Taxpayers Association, which I remember. But in Racine, you know, we've got some problems here with with the losing population and some other things that concern us economically. Do you feel like Preservation Racine can in any way contribute to our revitalization as a community, economically as well as just pure aesthetically?
From a personal perspective, yes, I do. Preservation, recognizing architecturally significant houses serves the community by providing a reference point, an element of identity, and a source of pride. The community serves landmarks by providing for their protection, interpretation, and enhancement. Ultimately, when we do preserve old buildings, we are essentially preserving our community. So yes, from a personal comment, I would like to just state our mission at Preservation Racine is to identify and actively encourage the preservation of building sites and districts in the Racine and Wisconsin area, which have historical, architectural, and cultural value. It pursues that goal in many ways. And recently, I just want to touch back with Mark Hertzberg just wrote a article in the Journal Times about a particular beautiful home, architect Edgar Tafel. And Edgar Tafel was a direct mentor, if you want to call it, or worked directly with Frank Llyoyd Wright.
Okay.
We here in Racine have a home on 4 Mile and Main Street, North Main Street, that the village of Wind Point have a battle with a particular family. And I encourage everyone to read that article. The article is named Family Village Battle Over Historic Home. And I want to emphasize historic home. The home is a Carl Albert house and it was designed by Edgar Tafel. I think we need to, as a community, work together collaboratively to ensure that these homes are saved and not razed. Yes, there was a family issue, but they are working very, very hard to save their home. So I would encourage again we need a call of action. We need anyone interested in preservation or this home in particular, drive by and call the Village of Wind Point or email them, and let's work on this together.
I think that what I've read from Hertzberg's article up there is that the village is fortunately doing typically what government does. It gets in the way of individual initiative and action. Being in real estate, I know that the statement that that house cannot be restored is just ridiculous. I mean, if Johnson can take their flying saucer down there and move it from Toronto, wherever the World Fair was, and get it all the way there,
yes,
you know, and rebuild it, reconstruct it back virtually brick for brick. Yeah, don't
when
tell me
there's a will, there's a means.
You can certainly restore this little house.
Yes.
Now, but the thing is if we're going to see economic growth, and this is what many of the guests I have on this show emphasize, is that we've got to get the government out of the way. Don't ask the government to do it, just say get out of the way so that we can do it, and we can bring in businesses, and the private sector will just naturally do that. That's the way it operates.
Well, when you say get the government to get out of the way, I think what we really need is to have the government with us.
Well,
I know that's a difficult, proposition, but really when government, you're talking about big government, let's drop it down to our city. Let's really just talk about our community. Let's work together. If the community does not recognize the importance or the value of what our architecture here in Racine is second to none in the mid, we should be embracing this wonderful asset that we have. Working together, the city should be working together. The village should be working with this family. Yes, it was in disrepair for I don't know the number of years. Don't quote me on that. But yes, but they recognized that they had a circumstance. So to date, right now, the house needs to be saved. Thank you.
All right, there you got it, folks. All right, thank you, Robin, for being on the show.
Excellent.
And
thank you, George.
We're going to take a break here, and then we're going to come back with a moment of truth. So, thanks again.
Thanks.